Hi, boys and girls. I'm back, and today we are going to read a book called That Book Woman, and it's by Heather Henson. And this story takes place here in the United States, okay? And it takes place in the state of Kentucky, which is to the southwest of us, okay? And this gives you an idea of what life was like at one point in the state of Kentucky with people having access to books. Okay, so it's That Book Woman. My folks and me, we live way up as up can get. So high we hardly sight a soul, 'cept hawks a wingin' in the sky and critters hid among the trees. My name is Cal, and I am not the first one, nor the least one neither. But I am the oldest boy, and I can help Pap with the plowin', and I can fetch the sheep when they come a wander. So, what are you noticing right now about some of the words they're using in this story and how Cal is speaking? And I can bring the cow home too, come evening time, which is right handy, seeing as how my sister Lark would keep her nose atwixt the pages of a book daybreak to dusky dark if Mamma would allow. The readiest child you ever did see. That's what Pap says. Not me. I was not born to sit so stony still a staring at some chicken scratch. What's chicken scratch? And I do not fancy it one bit when Lark plays teacher. The onlyest school a jillion miles back down the creek, and even Lark can hardly spread her wings and fly. So now she aims to school us herself. But me, I am no scholar boy. What does it mean when he says he's no scholar boy? What do you think Cal would rather do than read books? That's why I am the first one to hear the clippity clop and spy the sorrel mare, red as clay. I am the first to know the rider is no man at all, but a lady wearing breeches for all the world to see. A lady wearing breeches? What are breeches? Course, we make that stranger kindly welcome, and she's friendly as can be. And after sips of sassy tea, she lays her saddlebag upon the table, and what spills out might just as well be gold, the way Lark's eyes shine penny bright, the way her hands, they won't keep still, reaching out to grab a treasure. How's Lark feeling right now? Says her eyes shine penny bright, and her hands won't keep still. So what do you think she's feeling? Now, what that lady brings is sure no treasure. Not to me, but books. Would you believe a passel of books she packed clear up the mountainside, a hard day's ride, and all for naught, I reckon? For if she aims to sell her wares just like the tinker man who travels round with pots and pans and such, it but a plain and simple fact. We have no greenbacks here, no shiny coins to spend, leastways not on dumb old books. So what's Cal saying here when he says that they have no greenbacks here? What's a greenback? Okay, and there's a hint here when it says we have no greenbacks here, no shiny coins to spend. Well, Pap, he takes one look at Lark and clears his throat. A trade, he says? A poke of berries for one book? My hands double fist behind my back. I yearn to speak, but daren't. It is the very poke I picked for pie, not books. To my surprise, the lady shakes her head real firm. She will not take a poke of berries, nor a mess of greens, nor anything Pap names to trade. These books are free as air. Not only that, why, 2 weeks to the day, she'll come again to swap these books for more. So this lady here, she's giving them books for free and she'll come in 2 weeks to swap them out for more. What does that sound like? What do we have today that we can get books and swap them out for more? Now me, I do not care one hoot for what that bookwoman has carried round, and it would not bother me at all if she forgot the way back to our door. But here she'll come right through the rain and fog and cold. That horse of hers sure must be brave, I reckon. Comes on a time the world's turned white as Grandpap's beard. The wind it shrieks like bobcats do deep inside the dark of night. Right here, a simile. The wind it shrieks like bobcats do deep inside the dark of night. So here we sit, turned round the fire, tucked round the fire, no thought to howdy-do's this day. Why, even critters of the wild will keep a hid come snow like this. But sakes alive, we hear a tap, tap, tap upon the window glass, and there she be, wrapped tip to toe. She makes her trade right through the crack to keep us folks from catching cold. And when Pap bids her to stay the night, she only shakes her head. My horse will see me home, she says. I stand a spell to watch that bookwoman disappear, and thoughts, they go a-swirlin' round inside my head. Just like the whirly flakes outside our door. It's not the horse alone that's brave, I reckon, but the rider, too. So why is he starting to think she's brave? And all at once, I yearn to know what makes that bookwoman risk catching cold or worse. I pick a book with words and pictures, too, and hold it out. Teach me what it says. And lark, she does not laugh or even tease, but make a place, a quiet, like we start to read. Pap says it's written in the signs how long or short the winter stays. This year, the signs, they all foretold of deepest snow, of cold eternal. And even though most days were tight as toes, pinched into boughten shoes, I do not mind, a puzzlement I know, but true. So he said it's a puzzlement. He doesn't mind being stuck inside with all the snow. Why do you think he now doesn't mind being stuck inside? It's nigh on spring before that bookwoman can stop to visit a spell, and Mama makes a gift, the only precious thing she can, her recipe for berry pie, which is the best grub earthly. Not much I know for all your trouble, Mama says, and then her voice goes low with pride, and for making 2 readers out of 1. What does Mama mean there when she says for making 2 readers out of 1? I duck my head and wait until the very last to speak my mind. Wish there was something I could gift you too. The bookwoman turns to look at me with big dark eyes. Come here, Cal, she says real gentle, and I come close. Read me something. I open up the book I'm holding, a new one brought this very day. Just chicken scratch, I used to figure, but now I see what's truly there, and I read a little out. That's gift enough, she says, and smiles so big, it makes me smile right back. So Cal was really reluctant in the beginning. How do you think to read, right? He didn't think it was worthwhile. He'd much rather do other things on the farm. And now he just read and he's smiling really big. So how do you think he's feeling right now? And what do you think he thinks of reading at this point? This story was inspired by the true and courageous work of the Packhorse librarians, who were known as bookwomen in the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky. The Packhorse Library Project was founded in the 1930s as part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's Work Progress Administration in order to bring books to remote regions where there were few schools and no libraries. High in the hills of Kentucky, roads were often just creek belts or rough trails. A bookwoman would travel by horse or by mule the same arduous route every 2 weeks, carrying a load of books, in good weather and in bad. To show their gratitude for what came free as air, a family might make a gift from what little they had: garden vegetables, wild flowers, berries, or cherished recipes passed down through generations. While there were a few men among the packhorse librarians, the jobs were mainly filled by women, in a time where most people felt that a woman's work was in the home. The bookwomen were remarkable in their resilience and their dedication. They were paid very little, but they were proud of what they did, bringing the outside world to the people of Appalachia, and sometimes making readers out of those who had never seen much use for chicken scratch. In Kentucky, creek beds and trails eventually became roads. Horses and mules gave way to the kind of bookmobiles that still exist today. All across the country, dedicated librarians continue to bring books to folks who need them. All right, so this story was about our very own United States of America, okay? And this is really what it was like for some people who needed to try and get books, who didn't have libraries close to them, and a lot of those children couldn't even go to school because it was too far away to get there. So the Packhorse Library was the only way for them to get books. So now I want you to compare this story to The Librarian of Basra, Nazarene Street at School, and Rain School, and see, based on the different cultures, how are each of these stories alike and how are they different from each other?